Hey, welcome to Work Hard, Play Hard, and Give Back, a real estate podcast. I'm Mike Litzner, broker of Coldwell Banker American Homes, and with me today is a legend in the making, the sales giant, mailbox money, Bryan Karp. Bryan, so glad you can join us today.
It's my pleasure. What an intro. I wish when I walked into the house every night after going out to work all day that I would hear that intro when I came in.
Oh, from Jess. You want
From
Jess
Jess
to turn
and the
around?
boys.
Welcome, the sales giant.
Welcome, everybody. The Long Island sales giant, a little bit millionaire mailbox money is here.
It's in the house.
Exactly. I wish I had an intro that great, but
Yeah.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure, and I'm excited to chop it up with you.
I just want to remind the audience, please stick around to the end. We have the drop the mic question. I promise you don't want to miss that. So Bryan, let's get into this real quickly. So tell me something about yourself that people don't know.
Well, I'm obsessed with real estate. You know,
Well, people know that.
Okay, people know that.
Something that people don't know.
Something that people don't know. I'm an athlete, and I still consider myself an athlete, even at 41 years old.
Yeah.
Throughout my entire childhood, I played every single sport. The first 2 decades of my life was athletics. Everything was athletics.
Would you consider yourself a competitive guy?
I am probably the most competitive person you've ever met.
Yeah.
I have to tone myself down for the average society so people don't think I'm crazy. But when Brody and Brock were young, I used to, and like young, like 4 and 5, I used to like race them up the steps at night.
All right.
So
did you ever let him win?
No, I'll never let him win. I'm slam dunking over Brock and his friends. We played wiffle ball in the backyard on Sunday with all the kids, and I was still dropping home runs and bombs on them.
Yeah. Well, all right. To be fair, right? Brody's 12 and Brock's 11.
Yes.
So you can enjoy it while you can.
Absolutely.
You know?
And sooner or later, they will be bigger than me. And I always say to them, I want you guys to beat me when you can beat me.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to pull back. It's just my personality.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. So let's get into a little bit about the Work Hard. We try to follow our format, and Work Hard obviously is a real estate podcast here. I know the audience has a lot of questions they want to ask, and we have limited time, but tell us something about, why real estate? So with all your competitive nature, and what was the opportunity that drew you in to the real estate business?
So I did a lot of reading and a lot of research and a lot of thinking before I dived, full steam into real estate. And if you really look, 90% of the first generational millionaires were made through real estate. So I realized right away that the vehicle of the easiest opportunity to become a multimillionaire was through the capacity of real estate.
Yeah.
And then I also realized that I was never going to make money like a doctor or a lawyer. Okay. So how was I going to make as much money as doctors and lawyers? I realized I had to go into sales. So it was kind of two pieces why real estate sales and becoming a real estate broker and building my team and all my other businesses, why it was perfect, because what I used real estate sales to create this small piles of money. Right. And then I invested them in real estate, which I sell everybody, and everyone had these same opportunities I have. I invested in real estate to build generational wealth and to build passive income for my family.
So you're such a good real estate salesperson. You sell yourself on the whole concept of buying real estate.
I oversell myself. Every house that I overpaid for, I was like, this is a good deal. This is a good deal. And the greatest thing is, with real estate, time always guarantees a good deal.
Yeah.
So even things that I felt like I left the closing table or I walked out of the negotiation, I'm like, oh, I think I overpaid a little bit.
Right.
And then I blink my eyes and 2 or 3 years go by. And I'm like, this is the greatest asset I ever purchased.
Yeah. It's funny because I get asked a lot about investing in, as real estate as a vehicle. And people try to time the real estate market. I look at it almost like it's a stock. I got to find the right time to buy. And you just hit on something I think that is really just spot on. If you're trying to get in and out short term, you can get hurt in real estate potentially. But if you take the long haul approach and you hold it and manage the property, by the time you're done with, the amortization of the mortgage, if you got rental income, the actual growth or scale of the economy as, or inflation, it goes up.
Inflation, the huge one.
Yeah. So you can't really get hurt if you manage the property over a period of time.
You can never get hurt as long as you own it and manage it and hold it long enough. And that's
Yeah.
what everyone doesn't understand.
Yeah.
I know all the time I'll get people who say, Bri, are you investing in crypto? How much money do you have in the stock market? Because they see that I've created so much wealth for my family. And I'm like, guys, I don't invest in crypto because it's gambling, right?
Yeah.
I only invest in things that spit cash flow at me every month.
Right.
B, I'm an inside player in real estate, so why would I ever put $1 of the Karp family's wealth in anything except real estate?
Right.
And C, real estate is the strongest, most consistent asset class out there. And over a long period of time, it always appreciates as long as you hold it long enough. What you said, manage it right, love on it, it's always going to go up.
Yeah. And I assume that's where mailbox money came from.
That's where mailbox money
It's the rent money's coming in every month, and waiting for you. With
Yeah,
your name on it.
and obviously now mailbox money doesn't really exist because people don't mail us the checks anymore.
Right.
It's all done through property management software.
Right.
But it still is the same. It's still the same mindset that on the 1st and the 15th of the month, we're getting 40 different tenants that are all paying their rent.
Yeah. So is it time for a new slogan then? What is it like?
I think mailbox money just hits everything.
Venmo money or
Apple Pay money. I think we'll leave it as mailbox money.
Right.
It's so funny. I'll tell you, Mike, I was in an airport maybe 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And I'm walking out of the men's room and this guy stops me like I was an NBA athlete. He's like, Bryan Karp? And I was like, yeah, Bryan Karp. He's like, sales giant, illiterate millionaire, mailbox money. Literally, went right through every one of my nicknames. So it was so funny. He's like, it sounds just like you. I'm like, it does because it's me, dude.
Yes, yeah. So you just touched on something else here. So we have the mailbox money. We have the sales giant because look, there's not too many people in our business that are averaging over 200 sites, house sales a year, approaching 300. So your production on the sales side is off the charts. But you touched on something else. You call yourself the illiterate millionaire. Mm-hmm. Can we delve into that?
Sure, absolutely. So as some of you may know or may not know, I'm dyslexic.
Okay.
So dyslexia is when someone has it's a learning disability, and what it does is it prevents me from reading and it prevents me from writing.
Okay.
Today, I read on a 3rd or 4th grade level.
Okay.
And my entire life, I struggled with it. I am just so lucky that I live in 2024 where technology has really helped me be able to adapt to it. But growing up as a child, it was devastating because I'm someone who is always so thirsty to learn and to grow. Like one of my things that makes me feel good every day is growing in every capacity.
Right.
And as a child, I used to walk by the library, Mike, and I was so jealous and upset because there was so much knowledge in there and I couldn't absorb any of it.
Yeah.
I don't care about really many things, but when I am interested in something and I want to learn about something, I want to go deep. I want to hit the vein and go so deep on it.
Right.
And growing up, I was interested in health and fitness. I was interested in nutrition. I was interested in certain pieces of history.
Yeah.
And I really would have to wait for someone to have the time to read me a book.
Yeah.
So it was always very, very frustrating as a child. And then writing, I used to have to write. I would write myself notes because, people forget things. And then I would come back an hour, a day, or a week later, and I couldn't read what it was.
Right.
So I ended up saying, screw this. I don't really care if it looks like what other people do. And I started doing hieroglyphics.
Okay.
And if I had to go to the dry cleaner, I'd draw a picture of a shirt just so I remembered dry cleaner.
Yeah.
So it's definitely something that I've struggled with my whole life. But if I was to go back and you would say, hey, Bri, I have a magic wand on my podcast and I could, cure anything, I would say, don't do it. Because I really believe all of the adversity that I've had my entire life has shaped me and molded me into the person and businessman that I am today.
Yeah. No, that's a great story. What age were you diagnosed with this?
Young, 4th, 5th grade. I remember the tears. I remember struggling in school and also having to be so reliant on other people. So my entire life, before there was Siri and Alexa, if I needed to read the menu, I had to wait for Jessica or wait for one of my friends. Or if I didn't even have any friends, I'd have to listen to other people order and say, oh, that looks good.
Yeah.
Even still today, if I'm at a restaurant, I'll walk through the restaurant and just look at everyone's dishes before I sit down just so I have an idea what to order.
Yeah. So you found ways to overcome a challenge. It's life's challenges.
Life challenges.
Yeah, well, that's a great story, and appreciate you sharing that with us. Let me pivot back to real estate because real estate on a whole obviously is a huge challenge every day. They say you have to be a little crazy to be in real estate because what other job do you wake up in every morning and unemployed and you can say I gotta go out and find some work today, right?
Absolutely.
So,
And the house is on fire. You gotta have
yes.
fire. Everything's a fire. It's everyone's biggest assets. So much money going this way, that way, and the emotion of it. It's a crazy game.
Yes, exactly. So you've pivoted and you made a decision to build a team, and obviously you got a great team, great group of people. How many agents on the team right now?
We have 15 plus.
Okay. So right now that puts you in the big team category for risk media?
Yeah, risk media, we're considered a big team, which I think is under 20 or something like that.
Okay. All right, good. And I know your rankings came up. I want to say you were like number 5 in New York State out of all teams.
Yeah, so the Bryan Karp Team in 2023, because it's always last year's rankings, was the number 7 team in all of New York State.
Okay.
And the number 1 team in all of Long Island.
Okay. Awesome. Congratulations on
Thank
that.
you.
You guys do a great job. And I got to tell you too, your teammates, every time I come across them, they're all got smiles on their faces. They're all collaborating. They have such a good attitude. I kind of feel like, it starts with you. It's one of those things when you come in and you have your own energy. You got this energy, which I love. I can feel it. So do you ever get any feedback from those agents? Like where do they draw their inspiration? Or is that's got to be a lot of burden to have it constantly have to be you be the engine.
Yeah, I am. The energy that is radiating off me,
Yeah.
I can't help.
Right.
It's because the opportunity that I was given in real estate, and
Right.
every single person has it.
Yeah.
And what I have spoken into reality is totally insane.
Yeah.
Right. And, I was saying as a young child, I always wanted to, make the money and live the life of doctors and lawyers and
Right.
and engineers in the most respected fields. Right. And today, if you guys went to my house, I lived down a beautiful cul-de-sac. So picture this, you drive your car down the cul-de-sac,
Yeah.
you get out of the car
Right.
and you stand in front of my house, and then you turn to the left, the guy owns 3 walk-in medical centers.
Yeah.
You turn to the right, the guy's a judge, and to the diagonal, the other guy runs a hedge fund.
Yeah.
And then you turn to my house, and I'm a salesman.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So to me, it's like, holy cow, I hit the lotto of life, finding real estate, and I'm living my literal dream of a life.
Yeah.
And it's all because of sales and real estate.
Okay.
And it was so funny because growing up throughout my entire life, I was always, because my mother and myself are always very close, and even my father as well, I was always like, guys, like with my dyslexia and my learning disability, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
And it's funny because when I found real estate in my early 20s, I said to my mom, like, why didn't you tell me about real estate? And she's like, I didn't know about it. Right? Like we didn't even think this was a career that was possible. And to have this opportunity to play it every day is just insane. I know people say they love it, but like I am obsessed with it. I will do this until the day they put me in the ground. Yeah. And I'm obsessed with everything that it could create for your family. The amount of real estate and wealth that the Karp family has already created and will create is absolutely insane. And every single person watching this and every single person who I've ever met is more equipped than myself to do it. Yeah. And that's the best part of it.
Yeah. So I assume you have like some kind of standards in order for someone to be, welcomed into your team. So what do you look for in an agent? What do they have to bring to the table before you'll invest your time and expertise?
Number one thing is they have to be honest and trustworthy.
Okay. Love that.
And I know people say that, but like my face is on every single sign, Mike.
Yeah.
My face is on my car that I drive around every single day.
I've seen the Karpmobile. It's a statement.
Right. So to be doing this game for a decade and a half, and of course, there's always going to be things that don't go perfect, but for everyone all in all to have nothing but great things to say about me is because I'm always honest and upfront. Yeah. These are huge transactions and things do go wrong, but I'm always going to stand behind what I said. Right. I'm going to always do my best, and I'm always going to tell you the truth, even if you don't like it.
Right. Right.
So for someone to have an opportunity or a chance for me to consider taking them on the team, number one thing is I have to trust them and they have to be honest.
Great information there. What one piece of advice would you offer somebody who is either thinking about getting in real estate or maybe is newer in real estate and they're trying to take their business to the next level?
Number one thing is if you're thinking about it, do it. Stop thinking about it.
Right.
Right. That's the biggest thing. And this is something I do all the time is if I have an amazing idea that I think is going to be good for my family, good for myself, I immediately take action on it.
Yeah.
You know, we're sitting in a studio in the Smithtown office. Literally, I thought about this for an hour and I said, I need my own studio.
Yeah.
And next thing I know, I'm reaching out to the videographer that we have on staff. I'm texting everyone I know I need equipment. And within a few weeks, we had a studio here.
Yeah. It's awesome.
So if I think of something that is a good idea or that is positive, it immediately, let's go.
Yes. And I'll just, for a piece of testimony for our audience, I was so inspired by your motivation to build a studio in Smithtown. We've now duplicated this and we've built 2 other studios. So we have 3 studios in American Homes across the footprint right now, and a 4th one's slated to be built. So,
which is insane that agents have an opportunity to create video content 24/7 on their own, or even hire a professional videographer. Within the team, within the brand is just insane.
Yeah.
You guys are giving every single thing that an agent or a broker needs in 2024 to crush this game.
Yeah. It's a fun game. So like you, love to come to play every day. So I want to try to pivot a little bit. We hit some really good points on the work hard side, but there's a human side to everyone in real estate. And I want to maybe touch a little bit of the human side. So I know you and Jess, how long are you married now?
We've been together 20 years,
All right.
Married 15 years.
All right, great. And what I love is the family dynamic. So you have the 2 sons, which we touched on before, Brock and Brody. And one of the things that you touched on is that they both have unique personalities. And I love the way you were sharing how you engage those personalities. And, too many times you have like a parent who's trying to live their sports dream through their kids. I coached Little League for 18 years, and there was always like one person that was like just over that line. Yeah. And yet what I see with you is not forcing your dreams, but trying to cultivate their dreams. Can you delve into that a little bit for our audience?
Absolutely. And I'm trying to build champions. That's literally what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
And I'm so proud. And we'll start with Brock. Brock's my athlete.
Yeah.
And I coach. I'm the head football coach of his football team, which we won the championships last year in 2023.
Yes.
And I'm one of the assistant coaches for his lacrosse team. I also coach his basketball team as well.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I've been coaching Brock for 5 years, and I could just say he's a totally different person because of himself, but because of the pushing that I've been able to do and the standard that I'm teaching him through athletics.
Right.
I truly believe that one of the reasons that I'm successful today is because I played high-level athletics.
Right.
There's no excuse for tardiness.
Right.
There's no excuse for not presenting yourself well.
Right.
There's no excuse for not getting up and doing what is asked of you.
Right.
And I've taken all of those and put them into real estate, into my business. And the nice thing is I'm slowly able to start teaching it to Brock at such a young age.
Yeah.
And it was funny because in the beginning, he was like, I don't want to go to practice.
Yeah.
I don't want to run to the ball, or even down to the smallest thing where when they're doing, running drills, you got to touch the line. Right. He would come in a foot short.
Yeah.
And it's like years and years of disciplining him to watch him to really change himself into someone.
Yeah.
Even though it was very hard, there was a lot of tears, and tears are from me because the hardest thing is coaching your kids.
Yeah.
It's literally the hardest thing you could ever do.
Is it safe to say he's touching the line now?
Yes, he's touching the line
he's
now.
touching the line.
Yeah,
right?
And just know that daddy's watching, and I'm looking for 100% effort, not perfection. Because I'm far from perfect and I'm never going to be perfect. Right. And I'm actually very proud to not be perfect.
Right.
But it's 100% effort and 100% good attitude and good energy in it. And I listen, if he plays in the NFL, God bless him. I care nothing about that.
Right.
All I care about is that I'm a part of the process of building him into hopefully a champion.
Yeah. And whatever lane he picks.
Whatever lane he picks, exactly. Right. And then you go the total opposite to my baby boy Brody, who really could care less about athletics. Yeah. He's very artistic. He has a lot of my attributes with speaking.
Yeah.
He loves talking. Speaking to him, you would think that you're talking to someone who's in high school or in college.
Yes, I've seen the podcast.
Yes, he
you know.
has his own podcast
Yeah.
called Ask the Giant: The Next Generation.
Yes, he's intimidating because I'm here doing the podcast and I'm getting outworked by a 12-year-old.
Absolutely. Be careful. Mike, if you go on vacation, Brody could take your seat.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. So the nice thing about that is I see that he's someone who really, really loves being on camera, loves speaking in front of people. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to encourage that, and I'm trying to push him into uncomfortable situations that he can grow. An example tonight.
Challenge him.
Yeah, to challenge him. So an example tonight, it's so funny. Tonight, we're going to give away 2 of the Karp family scholarships. So every year, what we do is we open it up for every high school senior, and they apply. This year, Mike, we probably got 500 applications.
Is this just in, say, the certain school district?
Yeah, it's not. We open it up for most of Suffolk County.
Okay.
The school districts that go crazy over it are the neighborhoods I sell a ton of real estate in. So Sachem, Three Village, Smithtown.
Yeah.
We probably had 500 applications.
Yeah.
My team narrowed it down to 2, and we chose 2.
Okay.
So tonight, normally, I would go with the big Karp family check. I would say a little speech in front of 300 people.
Yeah.
And take a few pictures and hand the check over and say congratulations. This year, I'm going to be there, but I'm going to say not one word. And Brody is going to be doing the whole thing.
That's awesome.
So something I want to do is I want to push him into situations that normally you wouldn't see someone who's 12 years old doing.
Yeah.
So he's going to speak in front of twice tonight because we have 2 stops. At 6 o'clock, we'll be stopping at one of the high schools, and then at 7 o'clock, we'll be at the next high school. Right. And he's going to be getting up in front of people and speaking to everybody.
All right. So the scholarship winners are from 2 different districts.
2 different districts, yeah.
So the challenge is he doesn't just get off easy and have to present once. He's got to go to 2 different ceremonies.
2 things, yeah, 2 things.
I think that's such an awesome experience for someone that age. Because fear of public speaking is a real fear with a lot of people. I know I struggled with it earlier in my career. People who have met me said, you're not exactly shy, and yet, it's a little harder to get up in front of 300 people.
Absolutely, and especially when the cameras start rolling, and I could just know from my business and where we are in 2024 and where we're going to be in 3034 is video content, and video is going to be it's at the top of the food chain.
Yeah. And
someone who is articulate, someone who is well-spoken and can carry themselves, where I see so many people, always have their head in their phones, are uncomfortable speaking to people. I could just see where they're going to be going and where someone who could speak and command a room. Yeah. So I just know for him, that's going to be one of his greatest attributes.
You know what's interesting? You just touched on something, and especially for their age groups. My wife and I have our 2 dogs, which we'd love to do our dog walk. So even though we have a fence yard, she's adamant 3 times a day they have to be walked. And so we're not exactly shy people. So you're walking down the street and we're saying hello, but I can tell you when there's a certain age group and they're always walking down the street looking at their phone. And if you say hello to them, they almost get startled. They don't even know how to respond.
Yeah.
So I feel like social skills are being overlooked. I love the fact that you're bringing that and prioritizing that with the kids.
And also something I'm trying to teach both of them is because I've received so many great things in this world because I went out and asked for them. And so what I'm also teaching him is it's okay to talk to strangers in a safe environment. It's okay to ask people for things.
Right.
So these are things that I've learned and I've been successful with. All I could do is try to push them towards what made me successful.
Yes. And the third part of our whole podcast and focus, it's really, and this whole focus, work hard, play hard, give back, is really a company motto. So, you're really touching on not only the personal side of the family, but you're also setting the example of giving back, being charitable in the community. I think is so important for them to get to see that at this age and make it part of who they are. It's a wonderful thing. One of my greatest experiences, I'm a 30-year plus Kiwanian, and we do food baskets for the needy, 3 times a year, like Thanksgiving, the holidays, et cetera, et cetera. And, by the, last couple of years, we're up to 120 families.
Crazy.
And so there's a whole group of Kiwanians who, organize it and put it together. But I always insisted that we bring the kids because I wanted them to walk up to the house and hand them a turkey and hand them some canned goods. I don't think people or kids today realize how good they have it. So God. It's such an eye-opening opportunity, so to speak, for the kids. So that's missed. So I love the fact that you're engaging them in the charitable part of it.
I think it's so important to not just talk about it, to show them and really bring them along
Yes.
with it.
Yes.
Even if it's uncomfortable things, and even if it's things that's out of their comfort zone, to push them in that. Because listen, we live in the United States of America, one of the greatest countries in the world.
Yeah.
We live in Long Island, which is absolutely incredible. These kids just think this is reality and don't realize that not everybody has it as good as they do.
Yeah. Great lesson to share with them. So outside of the Karp family scholarship, speaking of charitable endeavors, what else is near and dear, close to your heart?
So a few other things is we're just about to drop every July 4th.
Okay.
Myself and a few other business owners collaborate together, and we put 10,000 oversized American flags on every single house in 2 neighborhoods that I sell the most homes in.
Yeah.
So we're getting ready for that, which will happen next week.
Yeah.
On top of that, what I do is from my family, we make a personal donation to Paws of War, which is a veterans organization that's based out of Nesconset. And what they do is they train service dogs. So what we do is we put an American flag on everyone's lawn. Everyone who sends us a picture of their flag, we make a $1 donation. And it adds up. Last year, we donated over $2,000 to Paws of War.
Wow. That's a great, you got that many people to respond, 20% of the people?
Yeah, which is great, which is really great. And we've been doing it for so many years that so many people have now started to text me, hey, Bryan, I need a new flag. Bryan, I need a new flag. Listen, something I feel that is my duty is because of the success that I have received, it's my duty is to give back.
Yeah.
So something that Jessica and myself do is we tithe. And if you go through the Bible, if you go through any religion, there's many religions that talk about it, we give a percentage off the top of our whatever money we make every year, and we give it away to charities. Yeah. So for me, I'm all year long, I am literally looking for opportunities where I could help others and help other communities and help grow. Right. Like some of the fun I have is giving away money. It's one of the greatest things that I could be a part of.
Wow, that's such a great outlook, such a positive outlook. And I love that.
It teaches, Mike, somebody to understand that there's an abundance of money out there. Yeah. Right. As a young child, I grew up and I was always thought there was a finite amount of money. Right. I thought that, oh my God, if I this $100, if I don't keep it and I give $10 away, that's $10 I'm never going to have. Right. But by tithing, it's made me realize there's an abundance of money. Yeah. And the more I give, the more that comes in. It really is unbelievable. I literally think it's raining money out there. Something else that Jessica and myself are doing, and we actually got a call last night, and it's going to be something in the next few months that is going to come about, is we just got our house just got opened up to be a foster house. Okay, I remember we were talking about this. Yeah, so now finally we got a call actually last night that there was 2 people who were in need. It turns out that one of their family members stepped up and is going to help them out, which is better to stay in the family. Sure. But Jessica was on the phone last night, 8 o'clock at night, and saying, all right, yeah, we'll make arrangements. And if there's 2, young boys that need somewhere to sleep tonight, our house is open. That's awesome. That's another thing that we're able to do with the boys. Yeah. So even though it make them feel uncomfortable having 2 new people in the house they've never met before, it's something that will hopefully show them like how lucky and blessed they are. Yeah. And that, it's our duty to give back, and it's our duty to help other people. That's such a great lesson. I love it. You're raising 2 good young men over there. Which one am I recruiting into real estate? I think it's Brody. Brody's going to get Brody sooner or later. And that's why he has his own TV show and has his own series, because he's growing up in the eyes of everyone. Yeah. All of our family, all of our friends, the inner circle. So one day when I'm not here, it's just going to change out. All we're going to have to do is change out the sign with my face to put Brody's face. Yeah. He's got a better haircut, I think. Yes, and he's a little cute, and he's a little cuter than me. Yeah. Exactly. So, all right. So we got a couple of years before we can get him licensed for real estate. He's only 12. I think he's got to be 16 or 18? 18. All right. So one of the things we like to do is we like to ask a drop the mic question.
It's time for the drop the mic question.
It's a little bit different. You talk real estate all the time. And so the question I have is, if you could have a conversation with anyone in the world, dead or alive, who would it be?
My dad. My dad's been gone for 10 years. Yeah. Always one of my biggest fans. Yeah. He only knows me as somebody who is selling 20, 25 homes. Right. and he passed away when I was still just a construction worker and a realtor.
Right.
And I used to have a closing. He used to just call me at the end of the week. And it's so funny to have this few people and in the world that, you know, your happiness is their joy.
Yeah.
Well, his joy was just hearing at the end of the week, how many houses did you close? How much money did you make? How many people did you help? Like, it was literally like it would be like, you know, telling your wife or telling your significant other, hey, I just closed this house. And listen, we came from nothing, right?
Yeah.
We came from, my dad was a union construction worker. I was a union construction worker.
Right.
So when I could call him up and say, Dad, I just closed the house. And after, you know, everything, I made $10,000. And at that time I used to work all week long for $500.
Yeah.
To him, it was the greatest joy ever.
Yeah.
So I would love to be able to share the success that my family has had.
Yeah.
And to show him his grandkids and to show him that I left construction and the business that I have today.
Yeah. Now, when you went from construction to real estate, did they see that as an opportunity, or did they discovered you like innocently?
Well, so I was doing when I left construction, I was doing about 50 to 60 transactions a year on my own.
Yeah.
With a full-time admin. And it's funny because I had 1 month in real estate that I made more money than I made all year in construction. Wow. And I still stayed for 3 more years. And then one day, Jess is like, I don't understand this. You're crushing real estate.
Yeah.
Why are you still doing your construction job? And for me, it was just something, I was so afraid to leave the golden handcuffs of the benefits and the pension and the annuity and the retirement.
Yeah.
And the funny thing
it's a
is,
safety blanket, right?
It's a safety blanket because that's what society brings us up. You know, be a W-2 employee and, you know, work till you're 65 and then the government will take care of you.
Yeah. That
doesn't get you anywhere. It doesn't get you anywhere. Not going to happen. The funny thing is when I left construction, Mike, that's when my business doubled, tripled, and quadrupled.
Yeah. So I guess you have to look at it as time is an asset.
Greatest
and how you leverage that time, you know, defines what your accomplishments are able to accomplish.
100%. And to me, you know, you can only be focused, really focused heavily on one or two things.
Yeah.
Right. So in your family is always going to be something majorly you're focused on. So for me, I was trying to be a construction worker, also trying to be a top realtor. It was just too much.
Yeah.
Now, literally, my family and real estate are the only two things I'm obsessed over.
Yeah.
And that I think about 24/7.
Well, you know what? Those are two great things to focus on, obsess about. So it's awesome. So Bryan, you joined Coldwell Banker American Homes a little over a year ago. And the interesting part is you've built a highly productive team and a great reputation, and literally could have walked your book of business into any brokerage. But you chose Coldwell Banker American Homes. Can you share the thought process?
And it wasn't something that I didn't ponder for months and months and even leading up to years of the right move. So I still believe in 2024 that every single homeowner, home buyer, and broker should be tied to a major franchise.
Yeah.
So to me, yes, in the markets that I serve, the Bryan Karp, I could have opened up Karp Real Estate, right? Or King Karp Real Estate. Someone told me I should open up. But I still believe that my clients as sellers and buyers deserve to be tied to a national brand because it's really the only way to collaborate and be able to have homes go global.
Yeah.
So that was number one thing.
Yes.
Number two thing is I wanted to be a part of an organization that had multiple offices all across Long Island.
Right.
So I didn't want just a one mom and pop shop in one different town. I wanted to be a part of a brand that I was able to help my clients in Southern Nassau, but I was also able to help them out all the way east of Long Island.
Yeah.
So to me, it was very important of being a part of Coldwell Banker American Homes that have all of the office all across Long Island, the 5 boroughs. The number 3 thing is I really wanted to have managers and upper leadership that was going to allow me to express myself as this over-the-top, obsessed, crazy at times, energetic salesperson, but also help me manage it and make sure that we are highly productive, that we are compliant with every single, thing that comes about in the real estate world.
Right.
So to me, those are a lot of the different things that was important to me. And then, the cherry on the ice cream was that I've had a relationship with you and Tom for over a decade.
Yeah.
So it's also longevity. I don't want to jump on a brand new brand or a brand new company that just started up, throwing around money and that is just going to be a flash in the pan. Right. I need somebody. The reason I love real estate and I invest all the Karp family's wealth in real estate is because it's a long-term proven asset. So I wanted to be a part of a long-term proven brokerage.
Yeah.
And I wanted people who weren't just happy with being average or happy where they are. I wanted to be a part of a group that was always looking to grow and always looking to take it to the next level.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you start to sit still, you're dead.
Right. So you like to be challenged.
I want to be challenged and I want to be growing.
Yeah.
And if I'm where I am today,
Yeah.
right? And what I mean, where am I am today? If I am where I am today financially or with the people that I have in my ecosystem, with the knowledge that's in my brain, with the health and fitness that I am with my life, I'm going to be upset. Every single year I am looking to grow in every aspect.
Right.
So to me, it was a no-brainer to partner and align myself with a group of upward leadership that was looking to continue to take over.
You know what was great? You touched on this a little bit earlier as well, but you'd call yourself someone who's high energy, right? Mm-hmm. And I relate to that because I'm high energy also. And one of the things that not everyone understands, I've had people tell me, oh, that's a gift. And like, it is a gift to have that much energy. But the problem is harnessing it.
Yeah.
So if we're out of focus, we're going 100 miles an hour in every direction. But if you can learn how to put structure in and harness that energy and focus it, that's where you get massive growth.
Absolutely. And it's also is getting into an area that you're passionate about and you love.
Yes.
So someone's like, Bryan, how do you have so much energy every single day, day in and day out? It's because I am doing something I am obsessed with.
Yeah.
There is not. So, someone says to me, Bryan, tomorrow morning you hit Powerball, you win $100 million. What do you do? I said, all right, so honestly, nothing.
Right.
The only thing that would change is every game that I'm playing would be slightly bigger.
Right.
Right. So it wouldn't be me just trying to be the number one agent in Long Island. It would be me trying to be the number one agent in all the United States. It wouldn't just be the Karp family trying to buy another apartment building in Suffolk County. It'd be I'm trying to buy every building in a town. Right. It wouldn't be the Karp family trying to build 4 new construction houses. I want to build a brand new town and name it Karpville. Right. So the only thing that would change would be I'd be playing a little bit of a bigger game. Right. So instead of the Karps going to Spain for a week, we would spend a month, cruising through the Nile. Right. So the only thing I'd be doing different is bigger things. And it wouldn't be just giving 2 scholarships. It'd be giving 100 scholarships.
Right.
I would just be playing a bigger game.
Yes.
If you're going to add zeros to my life,
right.
But nothing else would change. I would still be getting up at 4:30. I'd still be doing 45 minutes of cardio. I would still be doing abs every day. I'd still be working out every day. I'd still call my mom every day and speak to her, right? I would still coach every single sport.
Yeah.
I might have my own indoor facility for the kids to practice at.
Of course.
And Brody might have his own TV show on Channel 4. You better watch out, Al Roker, right?
Yeah.
But the only thing that would change, Mike, would be the game would just be bigger.
Yeah. Love it. Love it. So, Bryan, there's another question about, getting to know you more personally. Can you share any quirky habits that you might have?
Okay. Well, here's a few, and don't judge me. Number one is as soon as I go away, when I come home, regardless of what time it is, I need to unpack my suitcase 100%. Everything needs to go back where it belongs and where it lives.
Yeah.
It also works with just on a work day. So today when I get home, I will have to put my briefcase where it belongs. I will have to unpack every one of my papers. I will have to put my suits back in the closet. I will have to take my tie off. The cufflinks will have to come off. The shoes have to live right where they live.
Right.
I am very, very organized. So on my desk, everything has a spot that it needs to sit in. And I know when things are moved out of the spot.
Yeah.
Other quirky habits is I do cardio. I believe that every single day you need to sweat. Yeah. So for the last 3 years straight, every day I've done cardio.
Even on vacation?
Even on vacation.
Yeah.
And Brody was upset with me. He's like, Dad, it's vacation. Your shoulder hurts. Why don't you take off the gym?
Yeah.
But what I was trying to say to him, but I was unable to articulate it. But
Right.
hopefully he could watch this.
Yeah.
Was, Brody, I have so much consistency by doing it for X number of years straight. Why would I stop just for one day?
Right.
And he couldn't understand that. He's like, "Well, Dad, you work out every day. You eat clean every day. Why not just take a day off?" And I was like, "Well, Brody, of course I could take a day off, and it's not going to change anything.
Right.
But I choose not to because I have so much momentum.
Yeah. Yeah. And momentum's not always easy to build. So
Momentum is very difficult to build, but the way that you build momentum is you start to accomplish tasks.
Right.
You start to get things done, even if it's the smallest, littlest thing.
But you could have positive momentum or even negative. So one day off can become 2 days.
Yep.
Or 3 days, and that's the negative momentum. So if you don't take off, you keep the positive momentum.
It's so funny you say that, Mike, because if someone said the word momentum to me, the next thing, like you say peanut butter and jelly, I would say positive.
Right.
Like I only see positive momentum.
Right.
But you're 100% right. If you stopped eating healthy, or let's say on Sundays, you binge eat, which I used to all the time. I used to go bananas, like, go crazy, pancakes, waffles, French toast.
Yeah.
Then Monday I'd be sluggish. Right? And when I was younger, we'd go out with my friends on Friday night. Well, then Saturday and Sunday would be the same thing, right?
Yeah.
So there's positive momentum and negative momentum. Brody, I have so much positive momentum in everything in my life. Why would I stop?
Yeah. Exactly. Great answer. I love that. Brody, take note. He's onto something here.
Absolutely. And listen, now being an older, wiser, businessman, you start to see what in life works for you.
Right.
And you continue just to double down on all of those things.
Right.
So if you have something that works well, you have to continue to, add to it.
Right.
That's the nice thing. A lot of times me and Jess go back and forth and we say, is there an age that we would go back to?
Right.
There isn't any age I would go back to. I'm so happy where I am today because if I go back to that age, then I got to go back to all the stuff I don't know.
Right. Right.
Right. So it's yes, I'd love to spend more time with the kids when they were younger. Yes, I'd love to go back to college when, there was no responsibilities, but I wouldn't trade any spot to be back to where I was because I wouldn't have all this positive momentum.
Right.
Even in my real estate business.
Right.
Why does the phone literally ring every day nonstop with people looking to buy homes and sell homes? Because of 15 years of doing the right thing, 15 years of helping hundreds of people, 15 years of door knocking and calling people and building a brand. I have that momentum.
So Bryan, I'm so happy to have had some opportunity here to dive a little bit deeper and get involved and hear more about the Bryan Karp story. So thank you for being a guest on our podcast, the Work Hard, Play Hard, Give Back Real Estate Podcast. Please remember to subscribe, like, and join our podcast. And thank you for joining the show.
Share this episode. And if you want to find out more and follow the sales giant, you could follow me on Instagram at Bryan Karp LI. You could find us on TikTok at Bryan Karp LI. You could find us on YouTube at Bryan Karp LI, or you could email us at team@soldbybryan.com.